and banking that will fix this.
Thank you, sir. Senator Alsobrooks.
Thank you. First of all, thank you to Chair Scott and Ranking Member Warren for hosting today's hearing, and I want to thank all of our witnesses as well for your participation. I can say I agree with all of the others you've heard today who believe that we should both be expanding access to credit and capital for all Americans, and that we're concerned about making sure that we keep our financial system safe as well from criminals and fraudsters and scammers. And I happen to believe that we can do both at the same time. And so I have, I also like like to say that that Mr. Cawley, Mr. Ring, you've both spoken about the need to protect the integrity of our financial system from politics, and I have to tell you that I could not agree more. And so these should be fairly easy questions that I have just for both of you. You both run businesses that depend on maintaining the trust of your clients. And so my question is, would these clients trust you if you share their most sensitive financial information with someone outside your bank and without their consent?
Senator, no, they would not trust us if we shared that information.
No, Senator.
And so I ask as well, so should an unelected billionaire be snooping on Social Security payments, say, for example, to my elderly parents? Would you agree that that was wrong?
Well, if you're talking about Elon Musk, I believe the unintended consequences of that is probably offset by trying to save taxpayers money, and we haven't found a better way to do it yet.
And so you believe that your clients and other elderly people who find that someone's snooping around on their Social Security payments, that they would be okay with that?
I don't know Elon Musk, but I don't think that's what they're doing. I think they're looking at actual taxpayer monies going out the door.
Senator, if we hired an external auditor to come and look at our books to make sure that we were doing a good job of being fiscally responsible, I think our clients would welcome that.
And you think they'd be comfortable with doing that, someone doing that who was outside of your bank structure? Say, for example, could I do that and look at your client's information?
Senator, going through the right process and procedures for hiring and bringing that auditor in would be extremely important, and making sure they had direct, careful access to the data would be important.
So I'd echo Senator Warren and Senator Van Hollen's sentiments on the seriousness of this. And I really hope that our business leaders will have the courage to speak out about a practice that I can tell you I know you would never allow for your own clients. And so my next question is for Mr. Gannon and for Mr. Klein. There have already been studies on how banks and bank regulators can better balance the need for safety and soundness with financial inclusion. So, for example, a 2023 report from the Treasury Department examined circumstances where financial institutions indiscriminately end relationships with broad categories of people in the name of mitigating risk. That report demonstrated that unfair debanking also often results in less financial inclusion, less fairness, and ultimately consumers and small business owners being pushed toward less safe and less affordable financial products and services. And that 2023 report recommended that financial regulators promulgate rules that promote a supervisory culture that balances legitimate risk mitigation and strategies that include financial inclusion. So, Mr. Klein, as far as you are aware, have regulators adopted this 2023 recommendation?
No, they have not. Regulators push banks to use systems like CheckX and other do not banks lists for BSA, AML, for other things, for other types of risk platforms, and they do not adopt this. And I've been extremely disappointed at what the prudential regulators have done. This Bank On movement has done a much better job, in my opinion, of trying to get a better screen to let folks in, folks who are not fraud risks. I'm unaware of anything in the Bank On program that has a greater risk of fraud than any other type of account. And so I've been, from my experience, I've seen too little adoption of alternative ways to bring people into the system, and too slow adoption by regulators to do something different.
Thank you. And just one final question. The Community Reinvestment Act is a law that encourages banks to meet the credit needs of underbanked communities, especially low and moderate income neighborhoods. And this law requires banking agencies to assess banking institutions' records of meeting the credit needs of its community. So I just want to ask quickly, Mr. Klein, how can supervisory debanking make it harder for banks to meet their community reinvestment obligations?
So I struggle because a lot of these overdraft predator banks I've seen have gotten outstanding community reinvestment act from their regulators, who keep giving them a passing grade, even when the bank loses money on every element of its business model other than overdraft. So I've seen some deeply problematic practices.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll turn to Senator Kramer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for having this important hearing.